On tonight's Wales at 6, the counterfeit toys described as the most dangerous ever seized. But what are the risks and how can you tell if yours is a fake? Also tonight, on the edge, the residents raising questions as a sinkhole opens up on the same city road 50 years on. Plus, running into the history books. Adele has her sights on being the first female to compete for Britain in the one-person bobsleigh.
And I can see the Vale of Glamorgan, Cardiff, Caerphilly, even parts of the Rhondda. Where am I? Why am I here? Find out later in the programme.
Hello, good evening to you. They have been described as the most dangerous counterfeit toys ever seized, but you might not have heard of them. Labubu dolls have become a worldwide sensation, and some genuine toys are being sold for as much as £300. But now, as demand grows, there are warnings tonight about the serious dangers the knockoff versions pose to children. Across Wales, thousands of the fake toys have been confiscated by trading standards this year. In Swansea, 1,500 dolls were seized in July, whilst in Rhondda Cynon Taf, more than 100 were confiscated in a week. Meanwhile, Powys officers found 500 fake toys being sold at the Royal Welsh Show. Well, our reporter Liam McConkey is in a shop in Cardiff where the genuine toys are sold. Good evening to you, Liam. What's the concern then with these fakes?
Well, Andrea, one of the main concerns is the choking risks that they pose to children. Some of these items of these fake Labubus here can easily be pulled apart with little force. And Labubus have become a phenomenon, as you say. They divide opinions. Some people really like them, others don't. Well, one thing that can't be denied is the market that is in them. And that means that criminals are trying to tap into that with counterfeit products on the market. The new toy that's taken the world by storm. But every one of these items on this table are fakes. It's something that Karen Morgan and her granddaughter know all too well, after being gifted one by a friend.
She had a Labubu doll given to her as a birthday present, and when she opened the box, she instantly started crying. So I went to see why she was crying, and she said it was a fake Labubu doll. And this is the doll in question, and as you can see, the head is upside down, or rather the face is upside down, which is how my granddaughter recognised her as being counterfeit.
They may seem harmless, but fake Labubus are known to have choking hazards, and there's concern around dangerous chemicals from the materials they're made with. Karen reported the item to trading standards in Caerphilly, and since then they've discovered 400 counterfeit versions of the toy across the borough. Well, Trading Standards obtained this Labubu doll, which was being priced at £9.99, and we've seen genuine Labubu dolls on the market for around £60, so you can see that this is clearly a fake based on the price of it. And when we open the box, we see that it is in the plastic packaging that you would see in the genuine item, but when we pull the Labubu doll out, we can see just how flimsy it is. But if we try and just pull the head slightly, we can see that it easily comes off, showing it clearly is a fake version of the doll. Tim is part of the Trading Standards team who obtained all these fakes. He demonstrates to me just how dangerous these items can be, especially for young children.
This is one that's already lost the one. This is how easy it is for them to come out there. So a child would easily pull that out.
Yeah.
And this here is a truncated cylinder, and it's what we use to test in the field for choking hazards. And it sort of represents a windpipe of a child. So anything that fits in there is a choking hazard, just like that, and makes the product inherently unsafe.
The genuine version of this product has become massively sought after, with celebrities and influencers helping drive a surge in popularity. But that huge increase in demand has meant criminals have seen an opportunity to exploit the market, and ultimately it could be children most at risk. Well, Andrea, it's not just the health concerns about this item, it's also the impact on businesses that sell the genuine product. And one of those is Clothing Culture here in Cardiff, and Will works for the shop. I mean, Will, how does it feel to see this counterfeit product versus the legit one?
It's quite concerning for us. We go to a lot of trouble to try and source the legitimate ones. As you can see here, they have the 9 teeth. These ones will only have the 10. Also, it's quite disturbing to see like the choking hazards that are coming off these. Obviously, there's a foot here, there's an eye that has popped out of this somewhere. And obviously, these are marketed towards young children, probably between sort of 6 to 10 is what we're seeing. So yeah, it's deeply concerning to see just sort of the scale of how many of these are on the market at the moment.
And also as well with that, the loss in, in revenue, because these are being marketed at £9.99 versus the ones that you're selling legitimately at around 50 to 60 pounds, really.
Exactly. So the reason they're so high for us is because the market at the moment for them is so intense. Whereas with the £9.99, £10 ones, you're getting them cheaply made, they're not authentic. Obviously, children are too young to really understand the difference, so it's a real concern for us when they're coming in and then saying that they'll get them sort of off market. And as you can see here, the choking hazards and the sort of the fact that they're so illegitimate is causing problems.
I hate to say it, but Christmas isn't too far away. Are you concerned about the impact of these kind of items for your business, of course?
Definitely. Obviously, Christmas is a really important time for retail, and as we sort of get towards that period, we are starting to see more children coming into the shop asking, sort of inquiring about prices. Parents are starting to come in and ask, and there is a real concern for us that come Christmas time, people will choose to go to these vendors and these businesses that are selling them sort of the illegitimate ones, as opposed to us, where they know they're getting a legitimate product. It's a real problem.
Well, thank you very much for chatting through with that, Will. Well, Andrea, there is more information on our website about how you can determine what is a legitimate Labubu versus a fake one. So do head over to that if you have bought one. And there is concern from trading standards that times are tight and people are going to go to counterfeit marketeers to try and get the products with Christmas approaching. But the hope is that people will come to retailers that are selling the legitimate product.
Liam in Cardiff for exploring that counterfeit issue. Thanks very much indeed. The family of an 89-year-old woman who died in a collision with a rubbish lorry in Llandudno have paid tribute to her. 89-year-old Daphne Stallard has been described as a caring mamgie full of pride for her children and her grandchildren. A man who'd been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving has been released under investigation whilst North Wales Police continues its inquiries. Next this evening, job losses are expected at Bangor Cathedral after revelations of inappropriate behaviour and financial concerns were revealed earlier on this year. The critical report saw the immediate retirement of Archbishop of Wales and Bishop of Bangor Andrew John, although there is no suggestion he behaved inappropriately. A consultation into the redundancy process has now begun, and Ian Lang is outside the cathedral for us this evening with more on this. What more can you tell us then, Ian?
I mean, as you said, it's been confirmed that these redundancy consultations have started. We're not sure how many, but it's believed to be a handful. But even so, that could be up to 2/3 of the current workforce. All this after some very, very difficult headlines over the past few months. In May, the Cathedral published a summary of 2 reports. It spoke of blurred sexual boundaries, excessive alcohol consumption, weak financial controls, hurtful gossip and poor safeguarding approaches. Then in June, Andrew John, the Bishop of Bangor, retired. So troubled times, and now all this.
Yes, the cathedral finds itself in the news again. What has the cathedral said about this today?
Well, we've had a very short statement saying the potential redundancies are the result of financial pressures, but not much more detail than that. But as I just mentioned, the report did talk about weak financial control, so there's a clue there, I think.
And what about the congregation and indeed the wider public? What does it mean for them? Will it have any knock-on effects?
I think obviously this is going to shake morale. People are going to be angry. They're going to lose confidence in the church. Maybe we've had a contact from a lady called Leslie Day. She's a former Bangor mayor. She's talked about concerns about a mother and toddler group at the church. Concerns about the wider community. But yeah, troubling times for this cathedral. Ian Lang at Bangor Cathedral for us this evening. Thanks.
It has been announced that a by-election will be held next month to find a new Senedd member for Caerphilly. It follows the sudden death last month of the previous member, Labour's Heaven David. Our political editor, Adrian Masters, joins me now. Adrian, well, this is a by-election that nobody expected.
Nobody expected it, nobody wanted it. Heaven David was well respected, but more than that, he was well liked. At his funeral this week, there were representatives from all of the parties. Sometimes in circumstances like this, the other parties might hold back a bit and not campaign so strongly, but that's not going to be the case in this by-election. There's a lot at stake and the parties will be giving it their all.
Well, let's talk about the political implications of it then.
Well, if Labour were to lose it, which is a possibility, then it could make things even more difficult for Llandudno Morgan. If you remember earlier this year, I reported about how she only managed to get her budget through, which is a crucial thing for a government to do, with the help of one Lib Dem member. If she were to have 2 seats down, she wouldn't be able to get her budget through, and that could have all kinds of implications. And the other 2 scenarios are that either Plaid Cymru or Reform, both of which came second in the UK general election, could win this. If Plaid Cymru were to win it, that would be something they've long wanted to win in Caerphilly. If Reform UK were to win it, it would be their first directly elected Senedd member. So it's an unusual election in terrible circumstances, and the implications could be huge.
Many a situation that could play out. Adrian, thank you. Thanks for being with us this evening. Plenty more still to come for you. Megan, some good news for one congregation where you are.
Yes, good news for the congregation, good news for the community. We might be at ground level just now, but a little earlier we were right high up having a look at a landmark that's so important to the community here.
And how is this for a bumper litter? 14 puppies born to this lovely Labrador, and we'll be telling you why the arrivals caught our owners a little by surprise. Before that, though, a sinkhole in Swansea that first opened up in 2023 still hasn't been fixed. The ground collapse has meant roadworks and closures for nearby residents for nearly 2 years. And just as they thought the repair work was coming to an end, another delay was announced. Lewis Rhys-Jones is there for us now. Lewis, good evening to you. A long-running problem.
Good evening to you, Andrea. Yes, as you said, a long-running problem. It's 2.5 years now that residents first saw a sinkhole appear on Llandudno Road, which resulted in the full closure of the street. As you can see behind me tonight, there still is a trench in the pavement and street with works yet to be completed. And this is an area that does get busy with traffic. It does link up the Caerphilly and Llandudno areas of Swansea with a local primary school just a short walk around the corner. But this is not the first time for them to see a ground collapse on Llandudno Road. There was actually one back in the 1970s, which resulted in a car falling, I should say, into it at the time. No such thing happened on this occasion, but there's been plenty of disruption, and today an MS in the area has made a fresh call for the work to be sorted as soon as possible.
Well, this could happen, in lots of places, and this is where it gets quite complicated. And there are a lot of different factors in different areas. This one is the responsibility of the Mining Remediation Authority, but we understand things like climate change, for example, mean that things like this might become, more regular across the country, and this is something we're going to need to deal with. But I think when these things happen, residents are pretty understanding about it, but I think what they need is clear communication and clear deadlines as well.
The work was due to be finished in June, then it pushed to last week, but works are yet to be completed, with the people responsible, the Mining Remediation Authority, saying that it's due to unforeseen groundworks that they needed to delay. So while they're going to start resurfacing soon, they aim to have it open again in October. Andrea.
Lots of questions remaining for people, I'm sure. Lewis, thanks very much indeed. Well, time for a look at what's ahead after this programme.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the Deputy Prime Minister admits she didn't pay enough stamp duty on her second home. Angela Rayner says she has considered resigning but hasn't yet. What will the PM do? Also, should police be policing culture war debates? The boss of the Met says no after the arrest of Father Ted co-creator Graham Linehan. Why children could soon be banned from buying energy drinks. And are we farewelling Downton Abbey? Join us at the premiere of the hit show's third film. Those stories and more at 6:30.
Lucrezia with you shortly with those headlines. But before all that, Welsh shot put star Adele Nicoll is attempting to create history in the bobsleigh at next year's Winter Olympics in Milan. Nicoll is a three-time UK champion in the throwing event, but is now attempting to become the first British woman to ever compete in the monobob at the Winter Games. The 28-year-old is also set to pilot the two-person sled. Our sports reporter Matt Southcombe has been along.
When you're at the top of the run, you're ready to go. So what are you thinking about when you are getting ready to push?
When I stand on the block, the person that's just gone before me or the person that's going to be coming after me might be the Olympic champion, and I will stand there and be like, we can beat them.
Nicoll knows exactly what it takes to win. She's a three-time UK shot put champion.
And Misha McNeil, who was a pilot for Great Britain at the time, just sent me a message on Instagram one day. It was during COVID, and she messaged me and just said, "You look really powerful. Would you ever consider giving bobsleigh a go?" And I don't know what it was, but it must have been fate, because she'd messaged me at a time where I was really searching for something to give me that fire again. Dual sport athletes at that level wasn't really a thing. I know lots of people had transferred from one sport to another when retired, but to try and tell people that I genuinely think I can make an Olympic Games in both at the same time is a bit crazy.
After missing out on the last Winter Olympics, Nicoll has moved up the sled and trained to become a pilot. Now she's the one in charge of the steering, and with that comes significant responsibility.
Yeah, we are going, sometimes, you know, you're looking at 130 to 140 kilometres an hour. No seat belts.
Doesn't sound like my kind of idea of fun.
We have some tough days. Like, crashing a bobsleigh is part of the learning process, because it's like falling off your bike, but a lot worse. Hopefully, if everybody's okay, what you do is you dust yourself off, you pick the sled up and you go again.
It's a lot to manage, but Nicoll isn't stopping there. She's also targeting history, with hopes to become the first British woman to ever compete in the monobob at the Winter Olympics.
Just being the first person to do something is so funny, because when we watch videos and they're all in like black and white and this was the first person to do this, I think one day someone's going to look back and say, oh, Adele Nicoll was the first woman to ever do this, and she came from a small town called Welshpool in mid-Wales. And I just think that's so crazy. You can break barriers no matter where you come from.
Yeah, inspiring words. And for the full report, head to ITVX. You can find us by choosing categories, then news, and select Wales. You can catch up with the latest news and all our favourite programmes like Face to Face and Backstage. It's the same on your phone or on your smart TV. Next, we've been no stranger to heavy rains this week, but for one church in Llandudno, that's exposure to heavy rains, storms and winds has caused its tower to rot. But fear not, work has been well underway to save it, and our reporter Megan Boot is there for us tonight. And Megan, I think you've been given a special preview, haven't you?
Thanks, Andrew. As you can see by the state of my hair, as you can probably see by the clouds behind me, this is an exposed site. It faces wind and rain for centuries upon centuries against this tower. But good news, it's being sorted for now and the future. We've been given a behind-the-scenes look.
Welcome to Llandudno, Megan. Been a church here since probably 1250, 1260 or so. You can see it from every direction, from miles and miles around. It's a real draw.
But it's a church that's got some damage that you're having to manage.
It's showing its age at this time, yes. Prior to getting the building work done and the repairs to the gutter and to the roof and the stonework outside, it wouldn't be unusual on a very bad winter's day here in Llantrisant during the services to see water actually running down this wall. This is a good example of the consequence. Actual rainwater coming in. Sad to see.
Yeah.
Well overdue for getting it repaired.
Should we see those repairs?
Let's do that. Yeah.
All right, let's go. So these steps have seen some history.
They certainly have. The tower itself was built in 1490.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be many reasons why people to come up the steps other than to maintain the bells, to do some investigation of any of the structure itself. But no, it's more action it's seen in the last 2 years than many centuries before.
So what's happening here? What's happening here?
We've had to strengthen and upgrade these beams. These beams are now supporting the floor of the bell chamber above.
Okay.
We've also done some work into the windowsill. In fact, you can see it working on a glorious day like this.
Oh my gosh,
See, it's catching the rain
Getting that
and
out.
taking out. Because prior to that, the water was coming in, it was going down the walls and causing the problems that we saw down in the church.
Right. So we're going to take a look at another room now then.
Yeah.
Here we go. Higher up and higher up.
Higher up into the bell chamber itself now. This is where it all happens. This is where the bells will come back to.
Yeah.
We will bring all the bells up the same way they went down, namely through this hatch, although not this precise hatch. This floor, the original, was completely rotten.
Was it?
From all the water penetration that we've discussed. Completely rotten, as was some of the bell frame itself. So everything had to go, including the floor, and it all went down through this hatch or a hatch. We also then, to get it all back up, and in fact to get it down in the first place, we had to build this contraption here of these 3 beams, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
To be able to put hoists and chains and strops over them to manoeuvre everything into place to lift it, to get them right over this hole.
So it's not just repairing, it's future-proofing.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I would imagine we wouldn't have to do anything of this nature in this tower for 150 years.
Wow.
Yeah. We're very conscious we are making history as well as experiencing history.
And when are we going to start hearing those bells? When will the bells be back in here?
They're going to ring for Christmas. They'll be back in, I hope, early in November.
Yeah.
And then we've got 3 weeks-ish to get used to them.
Thank you so much for the tour.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you very much for your interest in everything we're doing.
Now, it is an expensive project. Part of this has been paid for from a grant of £73,000 by the National Churches Trust. And it's not just about money that the Trust is giving, it's about support, it's expertise. I mean, this is a listed building. It is very complicated. But the hope is that this change will bring a huge benefit. Not just for the congregation, but for the whole community, for those lovers of heritage. It is an incredible space. And so it is more than just building work. It's about saving and making and creating something for so many people now and throughout the years to enjoy.
And what a challenge it has been nearing the end. Megan, thank you very much. Now, it is one thing to hear of a dog giving birth to 5 or maybe 6 puppies, but quite another to hear about a litter of 14. Well, that was the fate for Marion Thomas's dog Tilly, but he was none the wiser to the extraordinary event as it all unfolded, as Miriam Hyde reports.
When Rhiannon agreed to pet sit, she was told there was no chance her brother's pregnant dog Tilly would give birth.
I double-checked and said, are you sure they're not likely to come before? And you went, no, we're sure.
But when the 3-year-old Labrador went into labour, Rhiannon couldn't have predicted what would come next.
I had a number for an emergency vet, which I used numerous times during the night, and looking at YouTube videos of dogs giving birth.
Instead of the expected litter of 5 or 6, Tilly gave birth to 14.
The first one was 6:10 and it went on, the last one was 9:05 the next morning.
15 hours.
Yeah, we thought a few times that was it, especially considering it was meant to be 5, maybe a few more. And there was a good gap of a few hours in between, and I think there was a big gap twice, and so we thought that was it, but it wasn't.
What was your reaction to the 14 that came out?
Yeah. Quite overwhelmed, really. And at one point we'd lost count.
And once the puppies are old enough, Rhiannon hopes to adopt one.
We have to keep one. It is definitely.
And then I can return the favour of dog sitting for her.
Yeah.
And just hopefully not a pregnant one.
As long as you haven't got a pregnant one again.
Whilst it's not quite 101 Dalmatians, these puppies have certainly had an impact. Miriam Hyde, ITV News, Beddau.
OK, weather now with Nick.
Outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Hello. We've had some very wet weather around overnight and the showers that followed today. This is the radar picture since the early hours of this morning. So widespread rain and these really hefty downpours that followed on behind. You may have heard a rumble of thunder as well. I think increasing sunny spells now to end the day. It's all from this area of low pressure. Got another one moving in for tomorrow. This is going to bring some further heavy rain across much of the country. And then we've got high pressure arriving Friday and lasting into the start of the weekend. And that's going to settle things down briefly, turn things a little bit warmer as well, before low pressure brings back cloud and outbreaks of rain into part 2 of the weekend on Sunday. So if you're looking for a little bit of a relief from the wet, it's coming Friday and Saturday with that high pressure, either side of which we have showers or rain. Still got a scattering of showers out there at the moment that will last into the night as well, and then gathering down towards the south of the Met Office, yellow thunderstorm warning kicking in across much of the country, lasting from the early hours and then through much of the day tomorrow as these start to move in. Now, it may well be the further north and west you are, parts of Gwynedd, Conwy into Anglesey. You may not see too much rain out of this, but where you do, some difficult travel conditions, gusty winds, hail and the rumbles of thunder from this too. But easing away to leave fewer showers during the afternoon, more in the way of sunny spells around, temperatures into the high teens on a breezy day. After that, and after the warning tomorrow, we've got Friday and Saturday with that area of high pressure where things do quieten down, turns a little bit warmer before the rain, as expected, will come back in on Sunday.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Bit of a mixed bag there. That's all we've got time for. Katie Fenton's back with your late update. Bye-bye.